Yeah. Hey there. Hello, how do you do? My name is Harry Wetzel. Thanks for coming. It's the 80s, darling. Yes, it is November the 1st, 1984. Last night it was Halloween. And I had a fantastic international date with an international beauty who's got an international dialect from international Palermo, Sicily. She's fantastic. She's so beautiful. Her name is Margherita. And we met at the Halloween festivities. And we had a date. We had a first date. It was fantastic, and I'm mooning over her because I know I'll never see her again. And she's going back to Italy, and I don't have any international trips on my horizon, at least not in the immediate future. So I don't know how it's going to be that I'm ever going to see her again. And so I'm mooning over her. But you don't have time to moon over anybody. You got to go back to work. Yeah, it's November 1st. It's Thursday. It's a regular work day. And I got two jobs. I'm working by day at the booze store and by night at the Winter Garden Theater. Yes. So what are you going to do? Go to work. Right. So I'm working on the wine cellar, trying to get it back in order. Steve called me up and he wanted me to come in and straighten things out. So I'm very busy with that. It's a much bigger job than I anticipated. Yes. Plus, there's regular booze store tasks that I have to do, working upstairs in the showroom and putting out wine and putting booze orders down in the basement. New booze orders are coming in almost every day. We're always selling. We're always buying. And I've also got my displays to keep in order and occasional deliveries in the daytime. And I get one or two of those, a couple of bucks on the side as a tip. That's nice. And I'm spending a lot of time with Francine, and she's a fantastic person. It's lovely to spend time with her. She's the heart and the soul of Vino Veritas, and the brains too. She knows the stock and she knows all the customers. And so I'm in there all day Thursday, and then I go to the Winter Garden. Friday, same thing. I come into the booze store, and it's the same cast of characters. Michael and Gregory are hanging around, and Steve comes in. He says, "You got to leave early," and I'm like, "Yeah, I got to leave at 5 o'clock so I can get to my other job." He says, "Well, what if we have a late lunch or early dinner?" And I'm like, "I would love that." So we order from the Mocha across the street. Yes, the Hungarian restaurant. Last time I had Wiener Schnitzel. This time I'm going to have chicken paprikash. Yes. And so that's a fantastic meal. And it is. And we have some white wine and stuff. And after I've had my lovely meal and my white wine, it's time to relax and go party, isn't it? Oh no, that's right. I gotta go to work. So I leave the booze store and I go down to the Winter Garden to sell more Cats Full Color show programs, t-shirts, sweatshirts, records, cassettes, books, and buttons. Yes. So then I'm there all night. Then it's Saturday the next day. It's a long day at the Winter Garden. Sunday, I don't do anything. Monday, it's another long day, and I'm just mooning over beautiful Margarita. I'm thinking of her in my mind. I'm whipping up all sorts of romance that we could have had. Anyhow, I'm at the booze store all day and at the Winter Garden all night. Same thing Tuesday. Wednesday morning, suddenly the phone rings. It's Margarita on the phone. She's in Washington, D.C. She's going to be in New York. And she's going to be at Penn Station at 5:40 p.m. And she wants to know if I can meet her. Yes, I can meet you. That's between shows. I've got a matinee, but I'll meet you between shows. That'll be fantastic. So I'm going to see Margarita. I've been dreaming of her all this time. And now she's coming to town. She's coming in town. She'll be here for I don't know how long. But you can bet at 5:40 p.m. I was there on the spot, on the dot. And there she was in all her glorious beauty. Yes. So we had to hustle on up to the Winter Garden because I had a 6 o'clock call. I got a show that night. And so we put her luggage in the cloakroom and she just hung around. I introduced her to everybody. Fantastic. And she's so charming and international and continental with her dialect. And everybody's infatuated with her. She's fantastic. And so I get ready, and showtime comes, and we find a seat for her, and we stick her in the back row of the balcony, which is actually a great seat for the show cats because then you get to see all of the choreography down there. You get to see, oh, and that special effect, the spaceship at the end of the play. Plot spoiler: the spaceship at the end of the play is almost designed for the people in the balcony because it comes up and it comes up. It looks like it's coming right at you up in the balcony. It's dazzling. So Margarita loved the show. She was bubbling over afterwards, and she was tired. She had been traveling all day, so she didn't want to go out for a drink or anything. She just wanted to go and relax. So we took her luggage, we got on the subway, and we went up to 98th Street on the 9th floor. Yes, my roommate Pamela was not at home at the time. That was nice, so that Margarita and I had the living room to ourselves. We put her luggage in my bedroom, and I put on some Beethoven, and we got some red wine, and we sat at the tasteful sofa in front of the tasteful matching wallpaper. Yes. And it was just so exciting. She was just bubbling over, talking to me about her trip to Chicago and to Washington, and she had a fantastic time. She went to the Hayden Planetarium in Chicago, and she went to the Air and Space Museum and the Lincoln Memorial in Washington. And she said, the whole time I was there, I thought of you. I said, the whole time you were gone, I was thinking of you. I was dreaming up all the romance that we could share, and the conversation was just electric. The electricity is flying, and I am smitten with this beautiful young woman. And so, yes, she stayed the night with me, and I won't go to any detail or anything, you know that, but suffice to say, her skin was very soft and warm, It's like she brought the Mediterranean sun with her from Palermo right inside her skin. Yes, a very passionate individual. Anyhow, I wake up and I look over in the morning and she's still asleep. And I'm like, I have a girlfriend. I have essentially a live in girlfriend. It's for a limited duration. I understand that. I'm not going to dwell on that because here she is. She's here right now. And she's so pretty. She's so beautiful and she's so sweet. And so I lean over and I give her a smooch. She wakes up. I know. And we're both famished. So we want to go get something to eat. And we go to a place called Argo and have breakfast. And after we have our breakfast, Margarita says, I would like some apple pie. So we decided to have dessert after breakfast. Yes, that is a tradition that I think should be more widely celebrated. Yes, if you think we should have dessert after breakfast, like and comment and share dessert after breakfast. So we each had a slice of apple pie after breakfast. It was fantastic. So then we got out and we walk down to Central Park, and we're roaming around. And there's the statues. There's these fantastic statues of Alice in Wonderland and all the characters. And we look at those. We roam around. You got to find the statue of the dog. There is a sled dog, and you got to hunt around. You can find it. Here it is. It's Balto, this sled dog who saved a bunch of lives back in the 20s. Yes. And when they dedicated the statue, Balto himself, the dog, was there at the dedication in the 20s when they built this statue. Amazing. And then we go to the castle. Central Park has a castle. It's called Belvedere Castle. It was built in 1872. And it was built as a folly. They call it a folly, which is a fantasy structure, essentially a castle that's doesn't not so much indoors. It's all open air, so that there's many different views and vistas you can have of Manhattan and the park and the surrounding environs. And it's been there since 1872. And this castle has seen all these buildings go up around it, and the park is still there. Right. So here is a photograph of Margherita and yours truly at Belvedere Castle. All right, how can we? There we are. Yes. Look at the serene beauty on her face. I know. So that's Margarita and some weird guy that she was standing next to. I know. Well, anyhow, after that, we roamed around a little bit more, and then we went down to the Winter Garden. She said she wanted to see cats again. So that's fantastic. So we found another seat for her, and she watched it again. And then, we went home afterwards, and we relaxed and drank some wine, sat around with Pamela and David. Yes, that was lovely. All right, so the next day, it's Friday, and we go for luncheon, we go to a place called La Fondue. It's on 52nd Street or something like that. And it's very cheesy luncheon repast. Yes, there's a big pot of melted cheese, and you dunk your bread or your chicken or whatever in it, mostly bread. And you have a lot of melted cheese with cheese on it and cheese crumbles, and then melted cheese on top of that. It's fantastic. The La Fondue. Then we hooked up with Carp and his girlfriend Terry, and we went to an afternoon showing of Metropolis. It was down in Film Forum. And Metropolis, a 1926 silent film directed by Fritz Lang, starring Bridget Helm. Oh, Bridget. And it's one of the greatest early science fiction movies ever made. It's one of the great movies. And it's one of my all-time favorites. And I got to share it with Margherita. It's the international language of the high art of pantomime on the screen. And so she enjoyed it very much. And there's some intertitles she has to read, but she says she reads English better than she speaks English, and she speaks it very well. So after that, we broke from Carp and Terry, and we went down to the Holography Museum. Yes, that is a fascinating place. The display after display after display of holographs. Yes. And when you walk by them, they watch you. And there are so many of them there, and so many fascinating and amazing things. We loved it. Then we walked over to Little Italy. Of course, we had to go to Little Italy. And there are many real Italian voices. And you hear the Italian language as you walk down the streets and when you're in the restaurants. And Margherita was talking to the waitstaff in Italian. It's so international to have your sweetheart be talking in another language. And two languages, and speaking with an accent, that means she's smarter than me. That means she knows more than one language. Intelligence is an aphrodisiac. She's fantastic. So we had a lovely meal in Little Italy, and we went home. Right. We went to Little Italy, and after that, we were pretty tired, so we just went home. Now it's Saturday, the next morning. I got a long day at the Winter Garden, and Margarita said that she wanted to go to the UN, the United Nations building. So she said she'd go to the UN when I was at my first show, and then we would meet between shows, and we could get something to eat. And then she wanted to see cats again, if that was okay, if that's okay. And I said, absolutely. So I went to my matinee. She went to the UN building. She said it was very inspiring. She loved it. And then we went for lunch. We went up to the Upper East Side. We went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Okay, Jackson Hole, Wyoming is, dear listeners, a place where they have hamburgers, no exaggeration, that are the size of a softball. It's a giant glob of meat, these hamburgers they have at Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And they've got these metal, stainless steel ice cream sundae cups that they put over the hamburger on the grill, and it helps cook it more evenly because it's just a big glob of meat. And they got 75 different ways of enjoying it. They've got every possible ingredient and all sorts of goofy names for each of the different versions of the hamburger, which I think is just crazy because if you put any ingredients on that thing, they're going to slide all over the place. You put a pickle and an onion and a tomato on there, it's going to slide all over the place. It's too big to eat. You got to use a knife and fork. It's crazy. So I just get blue cheese on mine. Extra blue cheese, please. Margarita got hers with mushrooms and Swiss cheese. Yes. So that's a lot of food. And you can only go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming once every few months, and Margarita will probably never go again. It's just as well for her system. But after that, we went back to the Winter Garden. And by now, she's a regular feature at the theater. And CT, you know, the head bartender, my boss, head of concessions, got her a seat, a house seat down in the front row. So she had seen it from the back row of the balcony. She saw it from the back row of the downstairs, and now she's seeing it from up front. She was thrilled because she was talking about the detail that she had seen, the detail in the makeup and the detail in the set that she wasn't able to see from the back, and she really, really loved it. It was fantastic. So after the show, CT and Margarita and CT's friend Cookie Crazy Janie and me, the four of us, went to Arriba Arriba. It's a Mexican restaurant, and we had a couple of margaritas. Yes, I had a margarita with margarita. Yes, you'll notice pronounced and spelled differently. Yes. So that was a lovely visit that we had with CT and Cookie Crazy Janie and Margarita. I'm showing off my international sweetheart to all my friends. It was great. This is so exciting. And, you know, I'm just giddy over her. And she apparently likes me too. It's lovely. So now it's the next morning. It's Sunday, and she's got to get going today. She's got her flight to Chicago. And we've got enough time in the morning, though, to go to a store. We go to the Magical Child. Magical Child, magical with a K and child with an E. Magical Child, a witch store, a bona fide witch store. Yes, where they have ingredients for spells and everything. A whole wall of bottles and bottles and jars and jars and jars of herbs and tinctures and everything you could possibly need. Books and books and books, jewelry of every spooky kind, a setup of capes and hoods and cloaks. Fantastic. And I was admiring the capes and cape the cape holder opened up, and a guy walked out from behind it, and he looked at me, and he shut the door. I'm like, and he looked at me, and he goes, wait, he's obviously a worker there, and this is obviously a secret room in the witch store. Ngong, ngong, ngong. What's going on in there? I don't even want to know. Well, that's a fantastic store, the Magical Child, down there on 19th Street, I think. Then we had to get going. So we take the train to the bus, take the bus to the airport, and we're getting on the way to the airport, and it's looking like we're gonna cutting it close. And when we get to the airport, we missed the flight. We missed it by a good 20 minutes. And it's gone. And the only way for Margarita to get a plane that costs the same is to go on tomorrow's flight, which is fantastic. She stays another night. So this worked out because I called up Suzanne and Lily, so that I could get together with them, my closest friends in New York, and my new international sweetheart. Yes. And so I got my roommate Pamela and her boyfriend David, and we all went out to a lovely restaurant down here on the Upper West Side. We had a fantastic meal, and Margarita and Lily were talking to each other in Italian. It was magical. And so we had a lovely night, and I was able to show off my international sweetheart. Well, now it's the next day. Now it's the next morning, and she does have to go, and she doesn't want to miss this train or this bus or this plane. So we're intimate with each other one more time, with her on top, of course, my favorite, of course. And then we got to get going. And what she wanted to do before she left was stop at McDonald's, something she had not done when she was in America at all yet. She had never gone to this famous McDonald's. And so she wanted to get a cheeseburger. And so we went, there's a McDonald's right here on 96th Street. So we went and I got a cheeseburger and a milkshake, and she got a cheeseburger and a milkshake and an extra cheeseburger to take along with her to have later on. So then we got in the subway, and I had to go to the booth store, and we sat next to each other. We didn't have a frenzied make-out session or anything like that. We just held hands and smiled at each other and had small talk. She was telling me about how she's Margarita Agatha. Her middle name's Agatha, and her sister is Agatha Margarita. And I had never heard of that. That was delightful. Well, my stop comes up, and we've got to part. So we stand up, we give each other a nice warm hug and a nice warm smooch. And I step off the train, and she's standing on the train. I'm standing on the platform. She smiles at me. She says, "Ciao, Hattie." I say, "Ciao, Margarita." "Why don't you close the doors?" And the doors, cuckoo. And the train lurched, and it moved, and it pulled out of the station. My heart went down the tunnel with that train. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Thank you for coming with me on this journey, and I look forward to seeing you next time.